Welcome to another episode of the No Ceilings Podcast. I'm Tyler Metcalf, joined as always by Tyler Rucker. Rucker, how are we doing?
It's the final episode, Metcalf. Final episode with me and you. It's all over. Yeah. All over. Spoiler alert, folks. This is the last one ever. I'm doing great. You know, I am ready. I'm ready for draft week. We're recording this. We've got 6 days. I can't believe we've reached the end of the third year of the cycle with the pod. Obviously, we're going to keep doing these, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just kind of wild to hit. Like, okay, next week it's showtime. So, you know, what does everyone want me to say? I'm excited for this one more than ever. I've been limping to the finish line. I'm pumped. How are you doing, sir? How are we holding up?
Hanging in there. Ready for this cycle to be over. But big week. Busy week already. Very busy week next week. Just, you know, let's get a bit of housekeeping out of the way here.
Yeah.
First off, draft guide dropped. Official, No Ceilings 2024 NBA draft guide officially dropped. Link is in the chat. Link is in the description. Link is over at NoCeilingsNBA.com. Also, if you want to just go straight there, NoCeilingsNBA.BigCartel.com. It's there. It's $12, 18,000 plus words. Oh boy, what do we got? We got 60 in-depth write-ups, strengths, weaknesses, comps, incredible art. You and Corey just hammered that out, and it looks incredible. Really cool vibe with the newspaper. The support already has been just incredible. Just year over year, the No Ceilings community just continues to shock me with all of your guys' support. It means the world. Everyone keeps dogging this as a bad draft. There's always talent to be had, and you guys are always just year over year, just eager and supportive to learn. It's incredible. It really is really cool to see how you guys have supported us and continue to do so. So if you haven't gotten it yet, head over to NoCeilingsNBA.BigCartel.com. Check out the draft guide. Also, go support our friends over at Underdog. Use promo code No Ceilings to sign up. Link also in the description. Experience that 100% deposit match. I believe it's up to $100. NBA season's over, unfortunately. Congrats to your Celtics, but we're not living in the past. We're moving onto bigger and better things. But they got baseball, they got WNBA, they have international soccer. They got a billion other offerings. I've had a blast playing with them all year. Go check them out. Oh boy, next week we got even more. Next week, NBA draft. It's here. It's finally here. We are under a week away. We are 6 days away. 5 if you're listening to this on the pod. On Friday, we will have live streams both days. Both days we will be there. Come hang out. We're going to have some fun. Chaos is sure to happen. If you like chaos, go check out Corey and Albert's chaos mock draft from the other day. It was incredibly fun. God,
you're on fire right now. I've never seen you like this. You can just tell how eager we are right now. Like, also you're rattling off everything we still need to do, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have so much to do.
Yeah, I'm literally just going down my to-do list right now. It's like, let me scroll to page 5. No, but I believe that's it. We got a fun one today. We're just going to, Corey and Albert did a chaos mock draft. We are going to do a what would we do mock draft. We will have multiple mock drafts. One, what would we do as a team, as a collective No Ceilings group, dropping next week, and then a predictive mock draft on what we think is going to happen. I believe we are dropping that the day of the draft. So first thing, draft day morning, go check it out. We'll be making our predictions and all that good stuff over there. But, since we're not going to be back next Friday to recap or reflect on any of those mock drafts, we wanted to get out in front of it and give our opinions, go through and play GM on our own and make these picks based on how we value these guys. So it's going to be weird. It's going to differ from what you're going to see next week, but we're going to have some fun. And who knows, maybe we'll just sprinkle in a little bit of intel.
So are we going to use the good folks at Fanspo for the mock?
You are welcome to.
Okay, well, goodness.
I will leave
you can rant a little But I mean, do you have the dual screens going on? You got to remember, Metcalf, I got kicked out I'm in the baby room now. Okay, shout out to everyone watching me go wild.
You have your producer in there,
exactly.
Why isn't she helping you out?
Oh gosh. No, I'm excited about this one. As everyone's listening, I'm just trying to get this set. If not, I'll just track it on the old phone and we'll get weird. But
yeah, and I'm excited for this one. Spreadsheet on the side set up for me just because I'm
okay. Well, then fine.
Weirdo.
Just trying to be, have some fun here. But if
no fun.
I just be on route. Whatever. You know what? Let's just do the spreadsheet. We're old school. We'll do a spreadsheet. Everybody else does Fanspo.
I'll read them off. This. I'll recap every 5 picks. I'll jump in the comments if people get lost. We're rounding out the week. We're having a little fun. We're loosey goosey.
Yeah, I can't explain how tired I am. Like I just can't even explain it. I'm not gonna try. So everyone just bear with me because it's gonna get a little weird. Like it's nothing to do with this year's class. Everyone might be like, oh, you guys are ready because you're just down on the draft. No, it's just because it's been a year for a lot of us. It's just been crazy. It's been an avalanche. If we could get through this year, we can conquer anything. Really pumped about the draft. I'm pumped about this exercise. The Chaos Mock was hilarious and awesome. I love when the Corey and Albert do that. But then me and you were just like, well, I want to do a mock 2 for fun. Next week's huge, as Metcalf hinted. We've got final big boards. We've got 2 mocks. We've got a ton of stuff coming out, and we're ready. I mean, it's just Intel's cooking right now. So I'm pumped out of my mind. I'm gonna be foaming at the mouth. I think might have a Twitter Spaces coming up with some very special guests. So be on the lookout for that. Just check out the No Ceilings NBA social media. You're going to be in for a lot of fun stuff.
And we will be doing a kind of week of last minute Intel dump Q&A type thing with the No Ceilings Plus subscribers over on the Discord. So I think that's it. I think that's everything.
That's it.
Surely I missed something. Oh, well, head over to No Ceilings NBA on Twitter and you'll find it. With that said, the Atlanta Hawks are now on the clock. Tyler Rucker, who is the first overall pick?
So everything I've heard is just all over the place. I still feel that way. Like when I'm looking at what should Atlanta do, I still go, what makes the most sense with this team? What are they going to go safe? Are they trying to dangle the carrot in front of some teams to come up? Does anyone want to come up to 1? Is anyone willing to pay the price to come up to 1? And the price might be a little lower this year. I know Rishi Shea's getting some buzz. Sar, we've had the reports. I've talked to people that they can't get him in right now, which is just very, very amazing this time of the year.
So, correct me if
go ahead. You can cut me off. Go ahead.
No, I'm just was Orlando actually able to get Paolo in for a workout? Did they get him in as a last minute one?
You know what? It might have been one of those last second that wasn't reported, maybe.
Okay, I think
I feel like I remember they couldn't, and then I feel like something came in where they did get him in at the last second or something. It's something weird like that. But I always think that's very interesting. And I think Atlanta's got to push towards blowing some stuff up a little bit. You got to get rid of one of those guards, maybe both. You got to start to take shift of hey, we need to reshape this roster.
Okay,
Quinn Snyder, go ahead.
No, sorry. Just comments are confirming that Paolo did not.
Thank you.
Get in.
Thank you. We love the comments.
Thank you.
Love everyone on YouTube. We love the listeners. And then Quinn Snyder with Utah, a very successful big man. So yes, I'm going with Donovan Clingan. I know everyone's going to be like, "Whoa!" I feel the best about Clingan there. He had a great workout. He had a great interview there. They were very impressed. And if you have 2 uncertain guys that you're kind of trying to get a feel for, and you were just wowed by a 7'2", 280 big man with upside, I like Clingan and Jalen Johnson a lot. If those are my building blocks to kind of build with, and if I'd keep in one of the guards, fine. But you still have a lot of pieces around that are young and talented. And yes, they have Okongwu. I think Capella will finally be on the move this offseason, hopefully. So getting a young big man with that size, the defensive potential, you put Jalen Johnson next to him. That's a good if you're starting your rebuild with that, that's a good place to start. So I just feel good about Klingon there right now. And, it changes every hour. Like every hour you're getting different buzz right now. But for me, I would love Klingon at 1.
I love it. I have him at 2 on my board. I have him in just a tier of 3 with him, Castle, Sar. I think it makes sense.
What would you do if we took? Let's just have fun now. So Klingon's in at 1, and we're gonna do this for all the fans because everyone wants some debates. And screw it, it's the end of the year. Me and you, the last pod, the last dance. You can't tank Klingon. Who are you taking?
Castle.
Oh, okay. Okay, now I'll throw it back. You got to take Star or Rishishe.
Star.
I don't know. I don't know what I do. I really don't. The upsides with Sar, but I just don't know if I'm in on him as a 5. I don't know if I'm there.
It kind of seems like he's not necessarily in on him as a 5, which is
the wrong era.
No, I
love his defense.
Yeah, it's insane.
And that's sort of why, like, I have bigger question marks with those two. And Klingon, I feel pretty good. If the medicals are checking out for Klingon, I feel pretty damn good about it.
I'm not worried about the medicals. We would have heard.
We would have heard.
He would not be consistently in the conversation for top 5 this long, this late, if there were red flags with the medicals. Everyone has them now. So
that would have come out as a heater. It would have been right away. And the fact that we haven't heard anything is interesting. All right. Interesting. Castle. I love you sneaking that in.
All right. So number 2 on the board, or not number 2 on the board, now on the clock, Washington Wizards with the 2nd overall pick. Consensus would say that I should be going Alex Sar. It makes sense. But, Marvin Bagley's already on the team. So I'm kidding. But I am going to go with my best player on the board. I think he makes a ton of sense. I think he's the best player in this draft. I'm going Steph Castle.
It's one of the... So here's where I'm at. Because we're always trying to connect some... No one knows what's going on. Everyone's trying to connect some breadcrumbs right now, and I always feel like there's a little bit of a late curveball. There's a little bit of like you might be pushing some smoke to kind of the Wizards. Everyone just assuming the Wizards would take Sar does not. I'm not buying it. I'm not saying I've heard anything. I'm just saying I'm not buying it right now.
I don't think it'd be a bad pick by any means.
I'm just saying I think there's another like whoa, and I'd love him and Koulibaly. I would love them.
Yeah. And if I'm the Wizards, I'm thinking I can get a center at the end of the first. I can get an Yves Missy. I can get an Adembona. I can get, whoever. Deron Holmes, I think that you can kind of fill out that spot a little better. And I legit think Castle has the highest upside in this class, and at a minimum, I'm getting one of the best perimeter defenders who's an awesome playmaker, rebounder, decision maker as well. Yes, I know the concerns about the shot. He's just a guy I'm willing to bet on. If he can get to 35% at career, 35 to 36, 37% for his career, that'd be more than enough, in my opinion. And I'm willing to take that bet on him because he does so many of the other things at such a high level. And when you talk about fit, is he a point guard? Isn't he a point guard? I don't really care. It doesn't matter to me. I think he can play with Tyus Jones if they resign him. I think he can play with Jordan Poole. I think he can run the offense on his own. I want the ball in his hands. I want him as a decision maker, and I want that guy being one of my leaders going forward. So it'd be a pretty easy pick for me.
Yeah, I think Sam Vecini even reported today, like the intel about Castle has been glowing when it comes to his work ethic, his character, and that's coming from UConn, obviously. So it's everything we've seen. He bought into a role that was fantastic, and the strides he took with his development this year defensively.
I thought he was a bad defender in high school.
I did too, and that's why I'm like, we can't. underestimate how big that step was. It was a leap. Like it was a unbelievable, like, whoa, I did not see this coming. Like at the end of the year, I was like, oh my gosh, he's a monster defensively. And I just like his floor. I really do. Like, I think he's got crazy upside, and I like his floor a lot. So I don't care if people are like, hey, he's not a point guard. I don't care. He can play. He's a basketball player. He is a damn good basketball player. He's going to figure it out. And he now just proved to us that he has more versatility than when we were even thinking coming into the year. So I think if he ended up at 2, it would not shock me, because I think that's a good pick for Washington. If you're just continuing to add the right pieces, you get Coulibaly and Castle, and they're, if Castle's shot comes around on a respectable level, now you have 2 dangerous defensive weapons with size, with length. So I like that a lot.
All right. With the 3rd pick, the Houston Rockets are taking
Reed Sheppard. Pretty easy. I think it's one of my favorite fits in this draft. I like Reed's off-ball shooting. I like his catch and shoot ability with the demons they have developing there in Houston. I mean, Amen Thompson and Reed would be unbelievable basketball. Like, just feel. And I just think Reed is a fantastic addition with that team. I just really, really like it. You got him kind of coming back behind Van Vliet. It's a good recipe right there. They're on the rise in a hurry. Like, I really like their defense. I think they had a great year with Udoka, and I just think Reed makes all the sense. That's the name. Keep getting told. It's just like everyone's feeling great about it. They're like, Reed at 3. I'm like, okay. So it makes a ton of sense to me, regardless of how the board goes. Now, I know Sarr's still on the board, but I think Reed there makes a ton of sense. I don't really know if I'm Houston, if I'm taking Sarr or Richeche over Reed, because I think Reed gives you such a fantastic piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, and that team just so desperately needs shooting and guard help.
If you take Sarr there, why you're just doubling down on? And I'm not saying this in a bad way. I still very high on Jabari, like Şengün, like, I mean, so what, you just getting another.
If they go Sarr and the defensive lineup of like Amen, Tari, Jabari, Sarr, Dylan Brooks, like, that's horrifying.
Be awesome.
I don't know how they score, but
Dylan Brooks is becoming the number 1. No, but I get what you're saying. Like, it'd be a very interesting conversation to weigh. But I just think Reed is everything you'd want for that team. Like, I just really think it's a fantastic fit.
Yeah, and I think he has way more point guard upside in terms of passing, decision making. I think he's going to get exposed on defense more than people are willing to admit. But when you kind of have that infrastructure around those guys, I think he has the upside to kind of be that fringe all-star level and eventually grow into a facsimile or a similar type of player to Fred VanVleet. So I love it. I think it makes sense. With the 4th pick, San Antonio Spurs. We're not expecting the board to necessarily fall this way.
Right. We're getting fun now. This might be Chaos Draft 2.0.
Torn between Alex Sarr and Richeche. I have Sarr higher. I have Sarr a tier ahead. Richeche makes more sense.
I think they're mad at the Wizards right now.
At Washington, yeah, I don't think they're.
I think they're pretty pissed about the Wizards.
But I'm gonna go BPA. I'm gonna get weird. I'm gonna add some more defense. I'm going to add some more length. I'm going to add some more center depth. I'm going Alex Sarr.
For the pure idea of just holy crap, I absolutely love it. It'd be really fun. I don't think this type of like I told you guys in the No Ceilings chat, it's like one of those Richeche or Sarr would not shock me if they're like on the board still at 4 and we're like, oh my gosh. And it wouldn't shock me if Sarr is still there. I know everyone's like, what are you talking about? He's getting projected to the top 2. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it in this year. I think people are just still so all over the place. And if Sarr is there at 4, I don't know what you do. I really don't. So My co-host just told me my phone was buzzing. Sorry, guys. So I just fixed that. I'm all over the place. But Sar and Victor, oh my gosh. We'd have so much fun. Would they do it? I don't know. I think they would if he's there. I think they were like, I don't. If he didn't go there, we would be like, what in the world's going on? Bo Callahan 2.0.
Yeah, I think if the board fell like this, I would imagine someone's trading up for Sar. And I think,
gosh, don't make me think of that. Who's trading up for him?
Oh boy. Well, now I have to pull up
the Spurs at 8 are trading up to 4. I don't think Charlotte would do that.
You don't think?
They might be interested.
I don't know what they're giving up though.
No, I don't either.
I don't know.
Not giving up Mark. No, I hear you though. It would be the pure what the heck's going on, because then if he gets past, this is hypothetical, guys. We're just having fun here. If he gets past San Antonio, it's like, is Detroit going to take him? and maybe they would, but because you got new ownership, maybe they're like, all right, let's do it. But I still think he's going to be up towards the top of the board. I still think there's plenty of talk about the top 2. We always like to do mocks because it's like, hey, open your mind a little bit. This could get weird. But I mean, you're taking them though. You're taking Sar at 4.
Well, again, this is what we would do. I wouldn't love it, from a team building standpoint. I'd be like, this is gonna get a little clunky, but I would trust that the greatest prospect that we've ever scouted would be able to figure it out. I'd trust that one of the greatest coaches in the history of the league will be able to figure out in some form.
There's your 4.
If Sar really doesn't think or want to play 5, if he wants to be a little more perimeter based or whatever, okay. Any of my concerns about his rebounding are immediately gone because he has a freak next to him. I think defensively, those two, no one's scoring within 10 feet of the rim on those guys.
It'd be so much fun.
And I can get shooting in free agency and 4 picks from now. So yeah, fit wise, names like Ricochet or Connect or Carter or McCain or whatever, I think would make more sense. But when I have Sar as the last guy in my top tier and I'm picking at 4, it's because my team sucked. So I'm just going to kind of have to go with the highest upside, best player there. And if things really do hit, but it doesn't work out team-wise, cool. Now I can move them. So I don't know. I wouldn't worry about too much of the fit necessarily there. And I'm just taking the swing on BPA.
Yeah, it's a different story. We love the YouTube comments. A lot of people are like, why wouldn't you trade down? It's like, well, you have the 8th pick. You have the 8th pick. So that's why you'd be saying there's our upside swing getting Sar at 4. We were not expecting him to be on the board. And now we still have 8. So we can either pivot and go to a different direction or still trust our board. You're a rebuilding team. You're going best player available. When you start trying to be like, okay, we can't take this guy because we have Victor. It's bringing in problems. Like Sar could play along Victor and it'd be horrifying. And there'd be 900 graphics made right after the draft and people calling it the next Twin Towers, and it would be hilarious. So I think it would be for enjoying the draft and just being like, oh my gosh, if this works, Spurs fans would be going nuts because the defensive potential for those two would be psychotic. It'd be so much fun. So I get it. I like it. We're getting a little weird now with the mock. I like it.
Oh yeah. And it took 4 picks. So here we go.
I took 4 picks.
With the 5th pick, Detroit Pistons are on the clock. This feels like an easy pick.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Ricochet.
Yeah.
I think Bazelis and Cody Williams are the names to watch there.
Yes.
But if the board fell this way, I would be taking Ricochet because with new owner or new management, they're gonna have a new coach. Very interested to see who they hire.
That'll be fast.
Wonder if they're gonna hire Borrego. I feel like that's
you think Borrego? I feel like
did they just bring in are they bringing in the T-Wolves assistant?
They're interviewing Mike Norrie and from the Timberwolves and someone else from the Warriors.
Yeah, they should have a lengthy list, but I like Langdon, I think he's going to do a great job. So I think Pistons fans are going to have a good one. He's been buzzing in the ranks for years. I think Richiche makes a ton of sense there. Yeah. I also just fascinated if the board goes how consensus is thinking right now. If it comes down to Cody Williams or Buzelis, I'm going to be so intrigued. But right now, I think it's easy. You take Richiche, who could be perfect alongside Caden Cunningham. You get him a good catch and shoot guy that's a smart defender. Makes a lot of sense.
I think that's almost the dream for Detroit if the top 5 fell this way. If they can walk away with Richiche, I think that would be huge for them. Legit off-ball shooter, really impressive and versatile defender. The transition game with him and Asar would be phenomenal. And then just that defensive infrastructure of adding more length and versatility on the defensive end. I think this would be a dream for the Pistons.
If it came down to Buzelis and Cody, which way would you lean?
I have Cody ranked higher, so I'd go Cody.
I think I'd lean Buzelis a little bit. I
have a back for what it's worth, but
I have them very close. I think I'd probably lean Buzelis because I think if Buzelis' shot comes around, like things are going to really fall into place faster than probably
it will.
Huh?
What's your confidence level in that?
What's my panic meter? I feel solid about it. I can't see someone having such a good shooting year in high school and then all of a sudden just a terrible year in the G League. Not terrible, you know what I'm saying? Just like did not look.
Shooting wise, it was terrible.
Shooting wise, it was bad. But
so what do you do with his? What do you do with his AAU season that year where he also shot below 30%?
Well, I think he's not going to be the guy. So I think he's not going to have all of the attention on him. So things are going to look a lot better when you're playing along Cade Cunningham. That's why I'm excited about this class. A lot of these guys are going to look better not being the guy. So if you're going to Detroit and you're not going to get all the attention and Cade's the guy, he's got the ball, he can make plays. If you could just be a catch and shoot guy, I think he's going to get better. And I think shooting is one of those things that you can get better quickly. If you've shown that, if you got the solid fundamentals and form. So I think if it came down to those two, I like the upside with both, but I think Buzelis would make some more sense. There's connections there, obviously, but yeah.
I agree. No, okay. You swayed me on Buzelis to the Pistons there.
That's what I do, baby. That's what I do.
I'm cooler on Buzelis, but when all of the kind of creation responsibilities are taken away from him and he can just kind of spot up and do the little things, use his athleticism to cut and offensive rebound. That's where it's like, all right, now you have the legs. You're used to the NBA distance. I get a little more excited. So
yeah,
they're in a fun spot. All right, let's move on to 6 after this quick break. With the 6th pick, the Charlotte Hornets are in a weird spot.
The Croissant Towers is an incredible nickname for someone. That might be the best comment of the whole year. Oh, man. Steven. Not even our boy Steven. Steven. Just fantastic.
We got new Steven. Sorry,
yeah, new Steven. That's incredible. Okay. I also, when I'm up next, I need you to figure out sharing your sheet because everyone's going to think I'm texting and I'm just putting in the picks one by one. So I promise, guys, I'm not. That's watching. You're up 6, Charlotte. A lot of names buzzing there. No pun intended.
So just to recap the top 5 real quick, we went Klingon to the Hawks, Castle to the Wizards, Shepard to the Rockets, Sarr to the Spurs, Richiche to the Pistons. Again, this is what we would do. We're alternating picks, so it's going to get a little weird. Ignore consensus. There's no such thing in this draft.
And if it actually fell like this on draft night, I think every fan would be drunk without drinking. You just be like, I feel drunk. I need an Uber.
All right. The 6th pick, Charlotte Hornets, going for a culture guy, going for a guy who has that dog in him, a guy who's been killing workouts, who's been the biggest pre-draft riser, the one and only Devin Carter.
I don't think this is crazy. Every single person I've talked to around the league has said the same thing. Devin Carter is kicking ass. every player we've talked to has been like, Devin Carter can't miss in workouts. Devin Carter's the dude. And I'm like, if this is he's having one of the best pre-draft process in terms of buzz that I've heard in a very long time. So if he's cooking this much, and there's names that go ahead of him, like Castle and Ricochet and whatever, I think it makes a lot of sense. Like if they like Castle and he's not on the board, I think Carter makes a ton of sense because I've heard Reed there, I've heard Castle there, and I'm like, I don't know if they're going to be on the board. I know they brought Connect in. He can make some sense there, but I think Carter.
I was looking at.
Yeah, and I like Carter and Connect there a ton. Like if you're telling me, okay, I got LaMelo, Dalton Connect, and Brandon Miller, okay. And then if you're telling me I've got Devin Carter, LaMelo, and Brandon Miller, I'm like, that's a nasty. I like the mindset of both of them. It's a fun draft for Charlotte. I'm really excited to see what they do.
Yeah, the other names I looked at here that I think make a lot of sense. They're in a really fun, kind of interesting spot. Especially with the new front office too. Dalton Connect, I think makes some sense. Tristan De Silva, that's early, but if they trade back or something, fit wise, I love it. 6 is a bit rich. Cody, if they go long term, but Modest as well. I'm just a little lower on him. So Devin Carter, kind of an easy pick for me. All right, at 7, Portland Trailblazers. Who are you going with?
I'm trying to see. This is why I need your sheet up. I need you to figure it out so I can be tracking it because there's names, and I'm like, I don't want to be the guy that's missing because we got a lot of diehard hoop fans out. I'm getting my big board up.
Yeah, my big board should have no impact on your selection.
No, I'm getting mine. I just want to be able to track it, without being on the phone.
We're 6 names in.
So there's a couple names. I think Portland's fascinating because there's plenty of buzz that they like Klingon. Gavoni put a little breadcrumb in his article that they would be very ecstatic to get Klingon, and I was like, who do you know in the front office that you have that intel? So I think if the board fell like this, I think it would probably come down to a couple of guys. I'm going to give him Dalton Connect. I think it would come down to Connect or Bazelis or, Cody. I think you would think that way, but I think Dalton's a surge of offensive firepower. And I really like him with what they've got going. I mean, him, Shaden Sharp, Scoot, which I'm ready for Scoots. We've heard good things. I'm ready for Scoots next year. I think you're cooking with some stuff. And then they've got a lot of young wings, kind of, forwards, and you got bigs. So, if Klingon's who they love, that's going to be really interesting to see what they do moving forward with, Robert Williams and Ayton on the roster and stuff. But I think if they stay put, have 2 picks in this lottery, you can get Connect, Bazelis, Cody Williams, one of those guys. You're going to have a fun upside piece.
Yeah. We saw how many kind of toolsy, defensive, physical, athletic wings they have, and none of them can shoot at all. Or wings forwards, and there's just no shooting on that team. The game we went to, Scoot, I think, finished with like 8 assists and could have easily had 15 if guys would have just knocked down open corner threes.
Very open threes. Very open.
I think it makes sense. I like it. Connect would not have made it past 8, which is the San Antonio Spurs, who are now on the clock. A little tricky here because the top player on my board right now is Nikola Topic, who's in a tier of his own right now, based on who's been taken. I hate that fit though after taking Sar, and with the knee injury. So, you know what? There have been all these rumors that he's going to slide, that teams are worried about, the defense and all that kind of stuff. He's not sliding tonight. I'm going Rob Dillingham to the Spurs.
Oh man, you just made so many Spurs fans happy.
Oh, that's a first.
We love you guys. Go Spurs, go. It makes sense, especially going Sarr early. Now it makes a ton of sense for Rob there. His buzz is fascinating. Everyone's thinking he's fallen. Everyone's thinking a couple of names are falling. I'm just really intrigued to see where Rob goes. But I like him with San Antonio there, especially if you're getting Sarr early. Now you really have some reinforcements behind him to help out, and you're getting a microwave scoring threat with serious firepower. I just wrote about him at NoCeilingsNBA.com, tied it into NBA Jam. It was very fun. It's one of those articles too. When I was writing it, I was like, man, Rob really is lightning in a bottle. He's just fun when he's cooking. So I'm fascinated. The weight always scares me. I watched some of the film. The mindset made me feel a lot better. He goes at people. He took someone on Tennessee that was 40 pounds heavier than him to the wood chip. Just bullied him on the way to the basket. I was like, oh my gosh, okay, woodshed. So I like that. I like that swing. That makes a lot of sense. And for Spurs fans, good luck to you on draft night. I think two guards are going to be – I keep hearing them two guards there. Everyone can connect what they want, but that's the latest buzz I got told is look for two guards for the Spurs. So
cool.
I'm not going to tell you guys because you've been rude to me.
At number 9, Memphis Grizzlies.
Boy. I think they could go in a lot of different directions here. Topic still on the board, intriguing. I think Memphis is going to want at least to get a piece. I'm going to jump on Buzelis here. We talked about Buzelis for like forever, so I was like, I didn't take him, right? I like that fit. I don't think I'd be a little surprised if he's still on the board. But, we had a little crazy top 4, top 5. So obviously this is what we've been saying about the cycle. There's going to be someone that falls. There's going to be some names that present some good value. And, Buzelis there, I think, is an intriguing fit for them. Still fascinated that we're getting a little steam about the Memphis trying to go up for Klingon. One of those, I'm pumping the brakes on all rumors right now, unless it gets some steam. But that'd be very interesting. I don't think their trading Marcus Smart to go up. So
probably not.
But it makes some sense.
I would love Klingon on the Grizzlies. I think that makes a lot of sense.
It would make a ton of sense. I also just laugh at the idea of Smart on the Rockets. Like him and Dylan Brooks might get banned from the league.
For fighting each other?
No, I just saying it might be Bad Boys 2.0. It'd be a fun team defensively, but then you're still like, okay, you need some offense. I'm interested to see what happens. A lot of teams I think want to go up to try to get Klingon, but who's willing to go down?
Agreed. All right. At number 10, the Utah Jazz. Man, you guys have been begging for a certain player in the comments, and you are not going to be pleased.
I could probably guess who that is.
So I think this team just really needs a point guard. I know how good Colin Sexton actually is. I loved the jump Keontae took. I'm still not totally convinced that either of them are actual point guards. And I just want to add and infuse a bit of playmaking to this team. This guy might be a little bit of a long-term project, but I think the Jazz are proving that they're willing to be patient and bring guys along correctly. So I'm going with the freshman point guard from Pitt, Carlton Carrington.
Wow. I'm writing down the whole order, and I was just about to get to that pick, and I was not expecting to be writing Carrington down.
I thought about Topic. But I was like, I want to mix it up a little bit.
Well, Topic isn't going to surprise me if he still goes early. And I'm not saying like very, very early, but I'm just not going to be surprised if we're looking up and, maybe he fell two spots or something. Someone's going to jump on that value because of how young he is, because of the size. Obviously, if medicals check out, but I don't know if I'm imagining him slipping to the 23rd pick or something. I still think some teams can be like, there's too much talent to work with here. Might be some team trades up for him to go get him. If you pick someone early and you're like, we're gonna go get Topic and have ourselves a night. Carrington, another guy that everyone says is buzzing. Another guy like Devin Carter, I would not be shocked wherever they go. If they go earlier and people are like, whoa, that's early. I'm like, I don't know. If you're buying, you're buying. I mean, what do we mean? You talked to like a couple months ago. I said, if I was going to go swing on someone, I would go get Bub Carrington in this draft. If I was just ready to take a swing, like he just seems like he's very close to becoming a dangerous talent, a dangerous player. Like there's a great foundation of tools to unlock.
And he was one of the best pull-up shooting guards in the country this year. Yeah, I worry about the at-rim stuff. He needs to get stronger. He's super skinny. Most 18, 19-year-olds are. I think he's a really, really smart passer. His ability to kind of run the pick and roll, make those kickouts to the opposite corner. Defense needs work. I thought it got better. I think he can play with any of the guards that they have on there right now. It's a long-term option, but I just the more I watched him all year, it's just like, my God, the upside with this kid is really, really impressive. But moving on to number 11. You good?
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, Blake. With the 11th pick,
Blake,
the Chicago
Blake told
Bulls.
us this is the worst mock he's ever seen ever, so we appreciate that, Blake. We love positivity. Well, hey, 11 Chicago.
The Chicago Bulls, who just traded Alex Caruso for Josh Giddey. What a move.
I mean, should we talk about it? Or
yeah, let's.
I thought Woj's phone got hacked. I was like, this can't be real. And then I was like, okay, well, there's going to be some picks coming in. And when I just found out it was a 1-for-1, I was like, what in the world? Great deal for OKC. Really, really good deal.
Yeah.
Ballsy move for the Bulls. And I still think Giddey has talent. I was going to be completely shocked if he wasn't traded. Mm-hmm. Just him for Caruso. I don't know if any other team is taking that trade. I feel for Bulls fans because I was like, what? Yeah. For Caruso? Like, so, but if you're buying it all in on Giddey, then fine. But I just thought they could have got a lot more firepower. Like, I'm fascinated to ask around because I wonder if teams are like, that, what? We could have got it. So I don't know. What about you?
I mean, just from like a pure basketball perspective, I obviously love it for OKC bringing in one of the best perimeter defenders in the league, someone who's improved year over year over year as just a spot up shooter, and he's someone that teams have to guard, whereas they were just leaving Giddey wide open. Like every time the Timberwolves played the Thunder, Rudy Gobert would just match up on Giddey and leave him alone because it's like, all right, if you're going to knock down 6 threes, then so be it. I don't care. Because me just Gobert roaming around the rim and playing that kind of center field was way more effective. And we saw teams do that game after game, and especially in the playoffs. So it became a huge hole in their roster. With Chicago, I think Giddey will have a little better chance to shine, maybe. I think it'll be a better opportunity for him to potentially slide into more of that kind of point guard role and play a little more on ball, and be a little more of that kind of primary creator like he was in Australia coming into the draft. So it's interesting, but I mean, we were talking about multiple firsts for Caruso at the deadline, and we're talking about is OKC going to have to throw something in to get rid of Giddey? So it feels like they're on opposite ends of the value chart, but it surprised me. Okay. With that said, 11, or I'll recap the top 10 here real quick while you think about 11. At 1, Clingan to the Hawks, 2, Castle to the Wizards, 3, Shepherd to the Rockets, 4, Sarr to the Spurs. 5, Risa Shea to the Pistons. 6, Devin Carter to the Hornets. 7, Dalton Connect to the Blazers. 8, Rob Dillingham to the Spurs. 9, Modest Buzelis to the Grizzlies. 10, Bub Carrington to the Jazz. With the 11th pick, Chicago Bulls are taking.
Yeah, this one's gotten all over the place. It's going to be hilarious looking back at this after we do the no ceilings final mocks next week. We had a very good year last year on that, so I'm hoping we can have some similar success. I don't know. You're going to have to help me. I got to phone a friend. You're going to have to help me here. There's a lot of names I'm looking at for Chicago because the board is just drunk. Like, it's drunk. I like Ron Holland a little bit as the upside swing. I like Cody here. I like the Silva now that you got Giddey. Like, now that you got Giddey, Topic makes no sense.
0 cents. No.
0 cents. So, all right, we're all over the place. and Carrington's off the board. I would have liked that. DeJane, I don't think makes a ton of sense. I think you're down to Ron, Cody, and then I think my wild card would be Tristan da Silva. If I was just being like, we got Giddey, we need some shooting.
See, so I think Chicago is about to blow it up because there are also rumors of
it's about damn time
move. So the 3 names I'd be looking at are Cody, Holland, and Saloon.
I think it's also Salon. Someone yelled at me today too, so it's funny. We know I'm good for one bad pronunciation a year. Everyone should know this by now. I'm gonna take. If you're blowing it up, I'm gonna take. I'll take Ron Holland.
Alrighty.
I'm going upside. If you're blowing it up, I don't love the shooting fix, but I think if you're just swinging full upside, I think that's intriguing value there. I don't know if he's gonna. I think there's a chance he's still going to be on the board there. I've heard there's a couple names that are trending downward, and he's just continues to be a puzzling one because I'm like, someone's going to buy, someone's going to swing. So. Going to be fascinating. Him, Edie. I'm trying to think who else. Him, Edie, and Cody. I'm just fascinated to see where they go on draft night.
I cannot wait.
It's everyone. I'm like, can someone tell me where Edie's going to go? And there ranges everywhere. It's just like it's everywhere. But everyone's convinced. They're like, it's going to take one team's going to swing, and we don't know where it's going to be. So, but yeah, I like Ron. I just trying to find the fit. Like. At one point, does the war room look around and say, the upside is worth it right now? So I'll say he's going to Chicago right now.
I think it makes sense, especially with a coach like Billy Donovan, who I think has a solid track record of developing guys. But we'll see. I think Ron needs a really strong infrastructure around him to get the most out of him, and really kind of instill a lot of those awesome habits that he has during the game in terms of work rate and that psychotic defensive playmaking mode that we see him flip into. But it'll be really, really interesting to kind of see where he goes, because depending who you talk to, it's literally anywhere. So definitely one of the biggest mysteries of the draft. All right. With the 12th pick, the Oklahoma City Thunder. God, we're 50 minutes in and we're not out of the lottery. The Thunder. How weird do I want to get here?
The funny thing is just like, I know there might be like 2 picks that end up on our final no ceilings mock that are similar to here. Like, that's just how off the rails we got. And I love it. So everyone just calm down. Like, we're going to have very, very fun mocks going forward. I think everyone should be paying attention for those. But this is just fun. We're giving you intel.
I kind of want to trade back. I'm not going to go Cody. I'm intrigued. I don't know. I just want to do something different. Feels boring.
I don't even know if they would.
I don't think they would. I'll go a different upside swing. I don't love it. my heart is telling me to go Tristan da Silva. I love that fit, but I'm going to go a little bigger in terms of size and athleticism. I'm going to go Tijane Saloon.
That's a good one. Makes a lot of sense. It's one of the names to watch. Yeah, I like that. It's what they've it's the type of player they've liked to swing on in the past. Now you got Caruso. You getting Caruso now makes me think the swing is way more possible for OKC. Like swinging for upside, maybe you're grooming a little bit, make the role simple early on if they can't contribute, because now this is a deep team now. Like this team just got a lot deeper and they're going to be trying to add some more stuff. So I like Tijane there a lot because I think you're also getting some high motor rebounding in theory. I did like seeing Woj's thing today about they're going to let Chet be a little bit more of a playmaker. Did you see that?
I love that.
The speculation. I was like, ooh. So yeah, I like that one. That's a good one.
And I'm not super high on Saloon, so this is a little bit of a reach for me. But theoretically, he's an awesome player. And if there's a team that I trust to kind of get the most out of a theoretical player and be patient with them and let them kind of develop correctly, it's OKC. And if he really does kind of develop into the player that some people think he can, that pairing long-term next to Chet is going to be really fun. Another sneaky name that I would keep an eye on would be Keyshawn George.
Gosh. Yes. All over. Very high.
With the 13th pick, the Sacramento Kings are taking.
Ooh. Some names on the board that I still think, Sacramento's in a point where they're like, hey, we're picking up here, but we're trying to get back to the playoffs. The Malik Monk thing's going to be interesting to watch. Cody's some intriguing upside if you're swinging there. I know Topic is still on the board. I don't really know if you're investing in just getting a guy that's probably not playing this year. I'm going to go Jared McCain.
Makes sense.
I'm going to shake it up and get Jared McCain. I've really liked what their front office has done in the draft last couple of years. I think they've built a really good team. They're getting some really good value. Keon Ellis was great in the playoffs, having to step up. But I like getting some more additional, floor spacing ability with that team. And I like McCain. I think McCain's going to be another one that I'm interested about because I think there's a lot of teams and a couple picks later that really like him. But I also could see a team just being like, we love the type of player he is and his shooting ability. So I'm going to go McCain there. I think Da Silva would be the name I would really like there. Like I was kind of going back and forth between them two. Da Silva makes a ton of sense for them.
Especially if that rumored Levine for Barnes and Herter trade goes through. But I guess, theoretically McCain can slide into that Herter spot.
But the Levine rumors seem like they went on 2K and hit Trade Finder and are just reporting every single one. As I feel like I've seen a new Levine rumored team every day. So I don't know. But I hear you. It makes some sense, but I also feel like I wanted to start talking about Da Silva like at the 9th pick. Yeah. So I get it. Anywhere he goes, I think it's going to be a great pick.
Well, I mean, he's going right now. So with the 14th pick, the Portland Trailblazers are taking Tristan da Silva and walking away with Dalton Knecht, Tristan da Silva, a little bit of maturity, some guys with some offensive versatility, some size, some strength. Da Silva still
that's a haul.
A lot stronger, but they're two guys who are adults and can play. So
that's a heck of a haul for them. And everyone's going to be like, what? They left with 2 seniors? And it's be like, yeah, they left with 2 damn good basketball players that are perfect for that roster.
And just before we completely forget about Jared McCain, head over to No Ceilings NBA YouTube. I did a little breakdown, film breakdown on Jared McCain's offense and what he does well right now, what he can potentially do well going forward, and the type of player he can be. So go check that out. Shameless plug. Boom.
That was good. Right. Good. Well done.
With the 15th pick, now that we are out of the lottery, the Miami Heat are taking?
Gosh, man. This is tough because I just keep looking at names and I'm like, they make a ton of sense. They have a lot of names, I think, that are intriguing options there. There's also some names that on consensus boards are much lower that have been mentioned as a wild card there that I was like, my goodness. One of those being Tyler Kolek. I'm still like a little shocked that I even heard that. De Silva would have been a great pick for them. I'm very happy you took him off the board. I'm going to go upside and say Cody Williams. I'm just talking about swings and potential, and if people want to, point out, hey, they haven't worked out here, they haven't done that. Well, guess what? You only have a limited amount of workouts and interviews, so you can't get every damn player in. Sometimes the board falls into a place, and you look at your scouting department and say, "We're going to trust you. What do you like?" And you make your big boards, and you go off of that. So I think Cody being here with, Miami, it's a very, very good place. Now, if Cody Williams continues to develop and you have him and Jaime Jaquez going together, you've got a very fun duo. And we know how good Miami is with developing players. So if anyone's going to unlock another couple levels, it's going to be Miami. And I'd love that for Cody. I still, I've still heard that top 5 is not out of question, which is just wild with this class. Like I was like, is this really? I asked someone, I was like, is really going to happen? And they're like, I wouldn't be shocked. I was like, my goodness. So it's going to be interesting. Top 10, top 5. I think he could go earlier than this, but that's how the board falls sometimes on draft night. We were not expecting last year this time Kay Whitmore to be going 20th. We thought he was guaranteed top 5.
Yep.
Things happen really quick in the next in the next 6 days. Things can change fast. So I'll go Cody there.
Love that fit for Cody, especially long term. I think just for him, I think that'd be a really, really good spot. Okay, let's move on to the 16th pick after our last break. Before we move on to 16, let's just do a quick recap here. 1 through 15. Not going to read the names. Just look it up on Tankathon or something. I'm just going to read the players here. So at 1, we went Donovan Clingan, then Steph Castle, Reed Shepard, Alex Sarr, Zachary Reese-Shea, Devin Carter, Dalton Knecht, Rob Dillingham, Matos Buizos, Bub Carrington, Ron Holland, Tujan Saloon, Jared McCain, Tristan De Silva, Cody Williams. With the 16th pick, the Philadelphia 76ers are taking, oh boy. That'd be spicy. I'm going to go Tyler Kolek.
I'm fascinated with Kolek. Like I think it's wide open. I think he's buzzing. I think Phoenix is another team to watch out for, and I'm wondering if he's going to buzz enough to where he could be going earlier. I like it, Metcalf. I think, I've mentioned I got a little breadcrumb that Miami is someone that should be looked at seriously for Kolek. And I'm like, whoa, my goodness, here we go. Buckle up. So I like it. I just think at some point in this draft, teams are going to be looking at Kolek as kind of like a safer player if you think he can fit in your system from day one and kind of contribute, because he's not fantastic off the dribble. We know that, but he can shoot it. He's an unbelievable playmaker, and he's tough as nails and gritty. And I get it. Wherever he goes, I completely get it. So going to Philly,
his
very interesting Philly for you pick.
I mean, I would love Tristan De Silva there. I would love a lot of names who are already off the board. I thought of
That's the problem.
I thought of another Big East upperclassman who has also been rising up the ranks during pre-draft. But I don't know. I like names like Topic or Pacome Dadier or Jacoby Walter or AJ Johnson, Trent Flowers, Kaishan George. Like long term, I think they make sense. But since when has Daryl Morey ever thought long term with Joel Embiid and entering his 30s? I think he's in his 30s. Apologies if I got that age wrong. But they're looking to win now. And I don't think any of those guys help you win anything next year.
No, Kaishan has a ton of fans. I don't think it makes sense there because you're trying to get guys that can, like you said, help right away. I think they would have loved to have, McCain or De Silva on the board. Yeah. I think would be the two names they would absolutely love to have, but they're not. Guess what? We're doing a mock. They're not. So you got to get creative. I think Kaishan, a lot of teams I could see them swinging on the upside, but I think a lot of teams also are probably swinging on the upside. So they're not expecting him to be a day one, contributor.
Maybe Ryan Dunn was probably the other name that I think makes sense, but I legitimately don't know if he can give you anything on offense. So
yeah, it seems that you're getting a little risky there. So I get that. I completely get that. Wow. Just wasn't ready for it, but I love it. Okay. So I'm up with Orlando.
Yep. Lakers at 17.
Oh, Lakers. Well, they definitely. My problem is I'm wanting Topic to come off the board, but I keep getting into teams that I don't think are just excited to take a guy that's not playing this year. And I especially think the Lakers aren't excited to take a guy that's not playing this year if one of their players has any say about it. Oof. Okay. Interesting. I don't think Kaishan's going here. I'm going to give them a big.
Okay.
And no, it's not Filipowski for everyone asking for that probably in their thoughts and prayers. I'm going to go Khalil Ware here.
Okay.
I like the potential for him to kind of help with the defense and the floor spacing. And I've heard his interviews have been a very pleasant surprise for a lot of teams. They've been impressed with him. So I think he's a name that could even go earlier than this.
I think that makes sense. Happy for you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay. At 18, Orlando Magic. I want to go Topic.
Do it. It makes sense there.
Does it?
I'll be honest. It does make sense there. They don't need that. They can bring him off the bench. They got size. Suggs, I think, is going to be the guy moving forward in the backcourt. The problem is like I already know every pick that I would change up. Like when it comes to like our final mock, I know every name that's going to be projected here.
Wow, I hate this already.
No, I'm just saying. Like looking at the draft mock right now, yeah, we're drunk. We're all over the place. But I also just know the names that are consideration right here. So if you want to have fun, Topic makes some sense. If you want to go a different route, a lot of names make some sense.
He's just by far the best player on my board. I have to do it. I know it doesn't necessarily make sense. I have concerns about the shot too. I don't think the defense's concerns would be that much of an issue with that team. I
think he's still going top 10.
Yeah, so do I. I would be shocked if he falls out of the lottery. Screw it. I'm going Topic just because it needs to stop. It needs to end.
Yeah. I love Topic. I still think he's going there. I still think there's a team in the top 10
I have
that
him at
loves
6
him.
on my board. So
yeah,
it's just a lot of this has been fit. All right, Raptors at 19.
I'm gonna go Kaishan George, who is buzzing. I think I would be shocked if he's still there, but I think Kaishan has a lot of fans and the upside's very fun. He can shoot it. He's got good size. He can really shoot it. And I like his game. I feel like everyone's first thing is they're like, well, he's not fast enough. And I feel like he covers a lot of ground with his steps. Is that something that you're concerned about? Like, I don't think you're ever going to make Kaishan's always going to be the go-to offensive weapon, but I think he can get places when he wants. And he has like that sneaky body, like he can kind of lull you on the long side of him. And then you can kind of You know what I'm trying to say? Like, he's fine if you're smothering him. He's smooth with getting downhill. I just like his game. I think there's a team that's going to be like, oh, there's a lot to unlock here, and he can shoot.
Love the shooting, love the passing. I'm not totally confident he'll ever be able to create his own shot against an NBA defender. I'm really worried about the utter lack of explosiveness. I have him top 25, so it's like, you know, I don't hate him by any means.
I just don't think it's that extremely bad. Like, people are like, oh gosh, it's horrendous. You think it's that bad?
It's pretty bad.
Gosh, everyone obsesses with being like Ja Morant off the ball, like dribbling the ball. And it's like,
great.
Give me a break.
So to his credit, I think he has a pretty decent handle. But he's not very strong. In the half court, how many shots at the rim do you think he had this year? And what percent did he shoot?
30.
And what percent?
39.
Oh God. Let's see, an 8th grader. No, he had 26 attempts at 53.8%.
I thought that was gonna be way worse.
Those are horrible.
I'm just saying, I thought that was gonna be way worse. You also just I said 30 and you said, oh, you're way off, and it was 20.
No, I didn't. I just said and percentage. You said 30 fucking percentage. No, I think in the right context, Kaishan makes a lot of sense because the shooting is very legit. I think the defensive fundamentals are strong. It's just there's no foot speed, there's no explosiveness, and it's just gonna be, is he skilled enough in the long term to compensate for that? And I think he probably will be. It'll just be he's gonna be a perimeter based player, and that's okay.
Yeah, and he might be able to actually create a little bit when he doesn't have the rest of that Miami roster alongside him. Get some actual spacing. Where are we at?
Dumpster fire. 20 Cleveland Cavaliers, and I have no.
We're gonna talk it out. Let's talk it out. We've projected guards there this year. We've rejected bigs and we've rejected wings, and we somehow got yelled at every time.
Every single time.
Cavs fan. Every time.
Every single time. Which is fine.
I don't know if we're supposed to draft a ref.
They can coach, but we'd probably pick the wrong guy.
Borrego should go there.
You should. I like Borrego.
I did too.
Okay, so I'm not going to go guard because I think there are some older ones like a KJ Simpson, Jamal Shed that would kind of make some sense, but I don't like it.
No, not this early.
It feels like a huge reach. I'm just talking fit wise, not
yes. Calm down.
Guys like AJ Johnson and Trent Flowers, I think that'd be fun, but they're not doing anything for him next year. A guy like Deron Holmes, I think, would be fun, but I don't want to draft another center until we have some sort of clarity on what this team is going to look like. So I gotta go wing. Do I go upside wing or ready-made wing? I'll go.
I know it's tough. Who are you going?
I'll go upside. I'll go Johnny Furphy.
It's amazing. You just can't fight that. You've lost that love and feeling, and Johnny Furphy is the only thing that can fix it. Was that 20?
That was 20.
I hope everyone knows how hard this is, just trying to keep track without things in it.
Oh my God, your life is so hard. Get over it. All right, at 1, we had Donovan Clingan.
It's pretty hard right now.
At 1, we had Donovan Clingan. 2, Steph Castle. 3, Reed Shepard. 4, Alex Sarr. 5, Risa Shea. 6, Carter. 7, Connect. 8, Dillingham. 9, Buzelis. 10, Carrington. 11, Holland. 12, Saloon. 13, McCain. 14, De Silva. 15, Cody Williams. 16, Kolek. 17, Ware. 18, Topic. 19, Kaishan George. 20, Johnny Furphy. 21 to the Pelicans is...
Let me check that. Yep, I've got that too. Okay, 21 to the Pelicans. I'm gonna. is trending downward, but I think this is still a fit that I'm intrigued with. I'm going to take Isaiah Collier. I like him going there just because of how he could be a force off the bench. I'm another guy. I'm fascinated to see where he goes because it sounds like the process has been a bit tough. But I still think some team's going to swing just because you got a bit of a pit bull in your backcourt. And if you can be bringing that off the bench and let him run in transition, I like the idea.
Yeah, that's fair. It seems to be a common landing spot.
Which means it doesn't happen.
No, 0% chance.
But I still like him landing there. If he gets past there, things are going to get interesting. But I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay. At 22, the Phoenix Suns.
I guess he could go there, but I just don't. There's a lot of guys, folks. There's a lot of guys that I was excited about their fit a couple weeks ago, and now I'm like, oh, who's going up then?
I don't like
those are going down. I blame you for messing up the board early because then you just threw me off the rails.
What did
I'm kidding. Well, what does everyone want? I mean, we just put Richeche at 1 and then we do Sarr at 2. Like, okay, everyone be like, cool, you did this for the 400th time. Have some fun. Live a little. Think a little bit creative.
How dare you? In a class that has so much uncertainty, we need to do the exact same thing every single time.
I know, right? We have to be consistent. We can't have any fun, any joy. Like, come on, get that negativity out of here. We're having fun here.
Okay.
I like a lot of these fits. It would be fantastic. It might be better than the consensus.
See, I keep getting torn between what I would do and what I think will happen. Man, oh God.
Give me the names you're thinking of.
I'm gonna go Duran.
We're not taking Bronny here, so everyone can
because we're not.
I love you guys, but absolutely not.
No. I'm going Duran Holmes.
That's a good damn pick. We're back. We are so back. We never left, but we're back. I like that a lot. That's a really, really good pick. He's the popular name.
He has a lot.
I feel like everyone's trying to figure out a way to get Holmes. So I like that a lot. Gosh, I feel like I was trying to get him with one of my next picks.
Well, with your next pick, number 23 to the Milwaukee Bucks is.
That would have been nice. I just looked at a name and I don't know if I want to be that insane. I'm going to go a little out there. Maybe not for some. I'm going to go a name that's been buzzing up this process the whole time. I'm going to go Baylor Shireman for the Bucks.
That was the other name I was torn between. I really want him to fall to the Timberwolves.
I'd like him to follow the Celtics. I don't think we got a good shot right now.
No, doesn't seem to be trending that way.
Does not. I feel like maybe he's even going to be one of those names that maybe goes in the top 20 that we're like, whoa! But I just feel like there's a lot of smoke right now for him. Those are the names you're just like, well, if it's going this good, why is he not going much earlier? So I don't know. But yeah, Milwaukee, I think he'd be a great fit.
I love that fit. Where are you at with him currently, and where were you kind of throughout the season? Because I was hesitant to buy in because I saw a lot of the decision-making stuff, some of the shot selection stuff, and I was like, oh my God, do you have a green light? And I went back through all of his stuff, and it's like, oh, the numbers are a lot better than you would think in terms of decision-making, like assist to turnover ratio, assist rate to turnover rate, all that kind of stuff. It's like, man, like you take a lot better care of the ball than I thought. The defense, I think, is fine. Like, he's strong, he's big, he knows where to be. Like, I don't think he'll be an utter liability. He's not going to be an all NBA type guy, and then you see the shooting and the playmaking and the decision making. It's like, man, there's a lot of really fun stuff here. Where if you in an NBA context, when you're in a much lower usage role, you can really elevate some lineups.
Yeah, I've got him in my late first round on my big board. I'm still, seems like every day I'd try to move him up a little bit. You know where it is, you know why it is for me? I think the whole year watching him and then kind of coming back and watching his tape, I think like it's a playoff team's dream. Just getting this like rotation asset you've got all the pieces already. You've got a tough team. Like I think teams like Boston, teams like Milwaukee are probably foaming at the mouth. Teams like Minnesota are probably like, how can we get this guy? Because it's just a boost of like what you need. It's kind of like I don't mean this in the wrong way. It's kind of what Sam Hauser was for the Celtics, but I think a little bit more, like a little bit. And this isn't a dog, Sam Hauser or overblow Baylor Shireman. I just think Shireman gives you more versatility offensively. Yeah. So you're getting a little bit more of like a dangerous.
He's a better passer, better handler. He reminds like this last week I've been like, he kind of reminds me of like a blend of Sam Hauser and Kyle Anderson.
Yes. And I think people will be like, whoa, but I just think Shireman for every playoff team is going to be like, oh my gosh, what a great starting out like 6th or 7th guy that comes in. There's just times where you can't take Shireman out of the game because he's just red hot and the basket looks like it's the ocean. Defensively, I think he's smart enough to understand where to put him, but that also comes back to the playoff teams. Like Milwaukee gets him, they're like, okay, when we're Giannis and Shireman, like Giannis is going to take care of some stuff. You get some defensive help and if Brook Lopez is going to be there, if they're moving on, then I guess that you could see them go in another direction instead of, Shireman here, but I just like that fit a lot for them. There's a reason why I want him to fall to the Celtics. There's a reason why you want him to come to the Timberwolves, because I think if you have the right roster, Shireman gives you another like recipe in the kitchen to really get cooking. So I just think that's why teams are getting so excited about him, because there's a path where he plays for a very long time. We had a fan just say Joe Ingles, and that's not a bad one. Like that's Joe was nasty with Utah, but I just think Shireman could be that piece if you have a good foundation already. And I also think with how much buzz he's getting, teams might much earlier be thinking there's more upside. And in an uncertain draft, you might be like, hey, we like Shireman. We know what he's going to be. He's going to end up on the Lakers. And I'm going to be like, I always knew I didn't like, I'm kidding. I just like him. I think he's a guy that's just going to figure out a way to play at the NBA level for a long time.
Agreed. With the 24th pick, the New York Knicks. Oh boy.
I love how many times we've said, oh boy, after trying to figure out who we're drafting.
Like the 3rd pick about. I'm going to go big. I'm going to go upside play. I'm going Yves Missy.
That makes a ton of sense there. Did Knicks film school, which I had a great time talking with Chris. And I just realized on that pod, I was like, I can't wait to see what the Knicks do. Like, yeah, especially this team now, like with how intriguing their roster has become. If obviously everyone's going to stay put, but now what direction do you go? Because I think this is the year where you could break the Tom Thibodeau curse of not playing rookies, because there could be some damn good rookies for them. I like Missy a lot there. I think where would be a really interesting fit for them. Filipowski seems like a Knicks villain. Yeah. So, I don't really know if he's there. And there's a name on the board that I think we probably needs to come off the board soon. That you're probably like, I'm shocked you're talking about that. So I don't know. It'd be really interesting.
Are you going to double up with the big at 25 here for the Knicks?
No, I can't. I can't do that. It would be too amazing, though.
All right, well, with
the Missy and the big maple, and just say good luck. Knicks. You know what? You know why I like this mock? Because I'm tired of seeing the same names everywhere. And everyone could be like, this isn't going to happen. And it's like, I don't give a shit because I'm tired of looking at the mocks and like every name's the same. No, exactly.
We're not predicting anything right now.
No, I'm not predicting anything. If we were predicting what we thought is going to happen, that's what we're doing at NoCeilingsNBA.com next week. It's going to be what we're hearing, what we think is going to happen mock draft. So everyone can get all rattled up and what the heck's going on. But I want to get creative. I want to throw some new names around. Missy was your pick for the Knicks.
Correct.
I'm going to go Jalen Tyson and get them a little bit of offensive punch on the perimeter. Some good size, some versatility. I like that one. I'm trying to think of I see people have been saying Pacome there. I don't know if I see it. Yes, I do know Jacoby Walter's still on the board. Thank you for reminding me, Miss Lippy. I've heard he's fallen down too. But I like Tyson. I think there's some buzz about him in a good way. And I kind of like that offensive punch with a little bit more versatility for the Knicks.
Okay. With the 26th pick.
Can I ask you a question before we move on?
Absolutely.
My dream for the Knicks is they add a center and some point guard depth. I know they have Deuce McBride, who we still love. Mm-hmm. If Kolek's off the board, what would be your next point guard? Is AJ Mitchell there too rich for your blood? Yes, he plays like Jalen Brunson. I don't really know if I'd buy that. That's why I'm kind of stuck of like, hey, do you get someone like Jalen Tyson who can put the ball in his hands, can do a little bit of stuff, but I feel like the next point guard for me would be a bit of a jump. And I know they've got picks in the second, correct? They've got a soon one. So maybe that's where you could even get Jamal Shed.
I think that's where you look for Jamal Shed and AJ Mitchell.
Yeah, so if I'm leaving with Missy, Jalen Tyson, and in theory Jamal Shed, gosh, Knicks. What a night.
So it would be a little rich for me in the first, but if they went Jamal Shed there, it would totally floor me.
It wouldn't shock me.
There are a lot of people who have him that high. I'm not quite that high. I worry about a guy that small who has never really shot. The defense is absolutely insane. Like legitimately elite defender. So Tibbs would love him. And he'd fit in perfectly. But if you're asking me what I would do, I think I would try and wait until the early second and try and grab him there, or an AJ Mitchell, KJ Simpson. I think there'd be value to be found there.
I think that's where I was at. Is that too rich to be jumping to that next tier? Because my next tier would be AJ Mitchell and KJ and Shed. But I don't know if that's too rich there. And maybe that's a territory you trade down. But I also I think that's why it's such a luxury to have those second round picks this year, especially with the new format. I think you're going to look at the board and be like, whoa, all right, we got some good potential here. So just wanted to ask you that. Go ahead.
Alrighty. So
Knicks went Missy and
Tyson.
And Tyson. Okay, who are you taking next, sir?
With the 26th pick, the Washington Wizards are taking. I have no idea. We took Steph Castle at number 2. God, they need a center.
It'd be a tough board for them. Oh gosh, just do it. We haven't thought of it. We'll just do it. It'd be hilarious, and it would be hilarious. It'd be a damn good pick for them. Probably
it would be. Yeah, it would be. I'm going Zach Edey.
I think there's no chance he's still on the board.
No, he's gone by now.
But this would be so much damn fun. Castle, Edey, Koulibaly. You'd be gigantic.
It'd be a big team.
For a team that really had a big on the roster last year, they'd be gigantic.
Yeah. So
okay, let's talk about Edey.
He's not best player for me right now, but I think he makes sense. I think one of these two picks for the Wizards, I think, has to be a center at 2 or 26.
It's got to be.
So I could have easily gone Sar with the second pick and then looked for more of an upside swing with like a AJ Johnson, Trent Flowers here. but I didn't. So here we are.
Okay, here we're going to play a little fun game, little side game, because it's the last pod before the draft. You have to give me, we'll say 2 teams that we're at the roulette table in Vegas at Summer League. Not right now. You have to give me 2 teams that you would put your chips on that Edie falls in. This is no intel. This is no nothing, because every single intel is, I have no idea. It's all over the place. Like, everyone likes them. And no one knows who's going to be the one that, takes the swing, steps up. So you just have to give me 2 guesses. We could also even make a funny side bet, but I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out, like, when is it? Like, who could I see?
I'm going to say Grizzlies or Blazers. If I have to pick 2, I'll say those 2.
Yeah, and if I had to pick 2, I guess I'm going. Oof. Yeah, had to pick 2. This was a bad question for me. Chicago and Toronto.
So, New Orleans Pelicans, congratulations on drafting Zach Edey in the first round. Which, wouldn't hate it. They'd be weird.
Would they? Zion and him are
they would dominate the offensive glass.
Did you take Zion and him or Victor and?
I'm taking Victor and anyone. I'm taking Victor and you.
Zion might outweigh all of. I mean, Zion and Edey might outweigh both of the croissant towers by 120 pounds.
Okay, with the 27th pick, the Minnesota Timberwolves are taking.
Wait, how did I get them? No, we can't do this. This is cheating. We'll talk it out. Let's talk it out together. You can give here. We'll assistant GM it right now. You can tell me the names you'd like for them. You also can't say AJ Johnson. Filipowski.
No. If you're looking for a forward big, I would say Enrique Freeman.
I would say there's a lot of comments. Shout out to the YouTube channel about, hey, why is Tyler Smith on the board? A couple weeks ago, I would have said Tyler Smith's going earlier. I'm not convinced right now.
I think this is about his range.
I think this is where he's going to start coming into serious conversation, his mid-20s.
I would love anyone who can create something on offense. And
what about,
that guy doesn't exist right now.
It's a tough board right now for.
All right, so
color.
No.
Okay. Good talk, Russ.
Enrique Freeman, KJ Simpson.
No AJ, huh?
AJ Mitchell. I'm looking down my book. Give me a minute. Those would be my top 3.
Okay. Well, I'll just do it for you. I'm going to take Enrique Freeman.
Love that.
Can you talk? You wrote a fantastic piece, shocker, at NoCeilingsNBA.com. It's absolutely free, and we have a draft guide. Felt good to say that out loud. Can you talk to everyone a little bit more about Enrique? Because we did also, you wrote about him. Kristen Peak came on to their pod, who was fantastic, had us cracking up behind the stage, and she said he's buzzing like crazy. He could be a surprise first night candidate. And keep hearing good things, that he's looking fantastic. So talk to me, like, what's the big sell with him? Obviously the shooting was like hey, can he unlock the shooting? But now it sounds like the shooting's been really impressive. Like, what it gets you so comfortable, like, about taking him in the first round potentially?
Super high feel, a lot of versatility, really good passer for his position. He's not a center. He's a power forward. He's a 4, which is why the shot is obviously so crucial. I know, like, when you think of like the best rebounders in the country, it's obviously Zach Edey. Wrong. It was Enrique Freeman. I think defensive he had like the highest offensive and defensive rebounding rates in the country, or about led the country, or was second in the country in total rebounds for the last 2 years. Really good team defender. Some of the on-ball stuff is a little inconsistent, but team defending instincts, tools, they're all absolutely fantastic. And it's sounding like his range is shifting from 35 to 50 more towards like 20 to 40. So he's continuing to work out for a bunch of teams in the 20s, and he's shooting the crap out of the ball during workouts, where the other day he hit, I think it was 70 out of 100 threes in his workout. And before this year, he hadn't taken more than, I think it was like 5 total 3-point attempts. Okay volume this year, still pretty low, but high 30%. Like it was like 36, 37%. So first year shooting it. And this is kind of the first couple months where his form has really been worked on and really honed, and he's knocking down 70% of his threes in workouts. It's encouraging. Obviously, he's probably never going to be an off the dribble guy or, dynamic pull up shooter or anything. But if you stick him in the corner, can he knock down a corner three? Can he play a little pick and pop? And then you factor in the slashing ability, the interior finishing, the passing. It's like, all right, this is a guy who's just kind of a connective piece and a good play finisher, and an elite rebounder and really good team defender. So I would be surprised if he kind of fell out of the top 40 at this point. And I think people should probably be prepared for him to go in that range where we're talking guaranteed contracts.
Yeah, he's creating enough momentum right now where I feel like end of the first round wouldn't be surprising. I also feel like maybe that second round, it's going to depend on how the board falls. And this is a draft in which a lot of stuff can happen, in which there's just going to be names tumbling down that we're like, whoa, okay. Like at some point you gotta trust your board. But I think Enrique is going to be a really, really fun one to see where he ends up. Because another guy, we were just talking about Baylor Shireman. I think teams are looking at Freeman like he can do a lot of stuff that we would really, really like for a playoff team. So I like that. It's a good one.
Just real quick, D. Steven and asking about why Freeman should get shooting optimism, but someone like Klingon can't at all.
Yeah,
I think we're
good
both
question.
optimistic about Klingon shooting it. At least I am.
Yeah,
I told you not super high volume, but
no, right.
Attempts a game on 35 to 38%. Like
Valanciunas status.
Exactly like Valanciunas.
That's where I'm at with him.
Same.
The thing with Freeman is I texted you when we were when I was watching the combine, and I was like Freeman's shot looks completely different from when I watched his tape. And then now you hear that. I feel like that was like the one thing you're waiting for it to go. And he's older, but hey, this is a class 2. Like if you get those guys that are hyper productive, lengthy, versatile, I get why teams are intrigued with them. So if he's shooting it, like he looks like, I think there's a lot of good stuff to go off of, and not surprised why he's buzzing. Okay, where are we at? So you just took him to the Wolves?
You took him to the Wolves.
Yeah. So that's how I am this time of year, folks. Okay, I took him to the Wolves. Who are you taking right now?
With the 28th pick, the Denver Nuggets, a couple names off the board that I think they would be very intrigued with.
Yes.
Similar style. They desperately need backup big help. I don't think he's going to fall this far, but I think this would be an absolute steal. I'm going Kyle Filipowski.
I'm just really pumped that you took him. Another one, like another name. I don't think it's going downward that much, but I think, earlier in the year we were like, hey, maybe he's in the 10 to 15 range. And now I think maybe there's that range is a little bit like 15 to 25 ish.
I think that
and then sense. And right now we've got him going a little lower, but I still think some team's going to be intrigued with the tools he has. It's just, I'm a little lower. I think this is the range. I would be very ecstatic if I was a team like Denver that you can get him to be another rotation boost, but I wouldn't be shocked if he goes much earlier too. So I get that. I like that.
Okay. With the 29th pick, the Oklahoma City Thunder are taking.
No, it's the Jazz.
Is it?
Von Druk. Yeah, the Jazz, because I know who I'm taking for there.
I'm such an idiot.
It's okay. We get mistakes this time of the year because we're running on 2 hours of sleep average. Utah at 29. I'm going to take my knight in shining armor. I'm going to take Bacom Dadier.
Okay.
I want him to go there so bad. So bad. But I think he's either going there or... And you know what? I don't know if anyone before him is going to take... Maybe Washington at 26. The Knicks, I guess, if they're just head over heels and love one of their picks and they're like, hey, now let's go get upside, I get. But I think becomes a really intriguing upside swing. I'm going to trust you with this one.
What do you want? What are you looking for? What are the world champions?
A lot of names that just went off the board. The world champions. I mean, I don't... Gosh, let me even think about it.
Because... realistically, no one they take is going to play. So are you looking for like 9th, 10th man depth options for the regular season? Are you looking for more stashy guys, kind of like a Jordan Walsh?
I think they're ready for Walsh to take a step here too.
Exactly. So he's kind of graduating out of that role and maybe into the 9th man or something like that. So are you looking for...
I want them to make the pick. Stevens just hasn't made a pick as GM in the first round, so I want them to make the pick. That's what I'm going to do
is trade back to 39, trade back up to 34, use that to trade back to 48, and then
last year they took like 2 guys, and then it kept saying like pick has been traded, and I was like, can I just get excited about the damn pick before you trade it? Like, I would have liked Freeman. I would have loved Shireman for them because I think they actually would have a shot to earn some keep in the rotation. I think AJ Mitchell could make some sense. I think maybe they're intrigued with Tyler Smith, and I think Bona makes a ton of sense. Maybe Mobo. I don't know. There's a lot of names that came off the board that I'm a little like, okay, you're gonna have to get a little creative, but I think this is also just the range in which you're saying, like, you could either swing for a little bit of upside or you can try to get someone that maybe is some depth. Like, eventually they're going to need to try to get a big to get some depth before, Al Horford says he's coming back for another year, but you're going to need to get someone that you can slowly groom. I don't know. I'm gonna trust you. There's a lot of names. I trust you, Metcalf. We do a podcast once a week, sometimes twice, but I trust you. There's a lot of good names on the board still.
This is gross.
It's tough doing this exercise right now because I'm trying to do what I would do while also balancing what I've heard, and that gets really tough sometimes because you're like, oh, there's one name on the board that I probably would have taken much earlier, actually. Oh, there's 2 names.
There are 3 names that are, for me, that are way higher, but I don't think you like any of them.
I probably would. Well, 3. I have 2. Who do you have still? I have Jacoby should still have come off the board, and McCullough should have come off the board.
I have AJ Flowers and Jacoby, which I don't think you would like any of them.
I think they might like McCullough at that point. McCullough seems like a Celtics pick, but also Jacoby being on the board here is pretty eye-opening. But also, someone's gonna fall. Like, that's what everyone's figuring. Like, someone's gonna fall. If Enrique Freeman's going in the first round, if Baylor Shireman's going earlier, if some of these names are trending in the wrong direction, or like we're saying, are gonna maybe go a little bit later than we were expecting a month ago, someone's gonna fall. Like, so it's gonna be interesting.
What do you think the feasibility of them re-signing Derek White is?
Yeah, they're gonna do it.
Okay. So they're
gonna do it.
Okay.
Wick's they're gonna pay whatever. They're gonna say, send me the bill.
All right. Well, you know what? Then I'm gonna go with a guy that we've also heard is rising. Not totally sure how he fits with how they play. But I'm going long-term center help. I'm going to Dembona.
I just, every week you ask me to do this podcast, and it's the easiest yes I'll ever say when you make picks like that. We've been projecting Bona there for like 2 years. It makes sense. Like, I think it's a perfect fit for Bona and the Celtics. Like, they just need him to play really hard and play defense and block shots and rebound. And he does all of those.
60% of what Robert Williams did.
Yeah, he just can't pass.
No. And God, Rob can pass.
But they don't need him to. They just need him to be like, hey, go get every rebound. He'll block a couple shots in the game and they'll go nuts.
Yeah.
I think Ryan Dunn makes sense there if they just want to have him and Jordan Walsh never allow a basket ever. I don't know. It's a fun team. They probably would trade down there. And I'd be like, Brad Stevens, you madman. So,
but they're going to get like 8 future second-round picks in the 50s for it. So
it's great. They got to start taking those picks eventually. The contracts are going to get nuts.
All right. A couple names in my top 30 who we didn't say. AJ Johnson, Trent Flowers, Jacoby Walter, Tyler Smith, Ryan Dunn. Any for you?
Yeah, I'm in my top 30. I think McCullough, Jacoby's I don't know. Jacoby's trending downwards. I feel like I've heard it's just like, oh gosh, how much? Trying to think who else. In my yeah, I still think McCullough could be one team just going to fall in love with him. Heard he's a great kid. I think it's just the medical stuff. So I would be shocked if I wouldn't. Actually, I wouldn't. I'll take that back. I wouldn't be shocked if he's still on the board. But I think he would be one of those going into day 2. People are like, let's go up to get McCullough. That's great value. Any picks? Anything you want to talk about? It's hard. It's tough to sign off for the last time.
Yeah. Well, before we do, for the last time, we got to finalize the No Ceilings.
Oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting this. This is fantastic.
All right, so it's the most exclusive club in the basketball world. Only 14 names get in. No more, no less. The NBA green room invited 24 people. Are you kidding me? We almost got an invite.
Losers.
Oh my god. Anyone
that would have been easy.
All right. So
I have to interrupt you. One of my favorite comments from one of our fans on the line about the green room list was, cool, invite the whole first round.
Gonna be real awkward when some of those guys fall to the second.
Yes, it is.
But the No Ceilings green room, it is not our top 14 ranking. It is not a lottery ranking. It is not a big board. It's based on vibes, potential, upside, intrigue, vibes, a lot of vibes. So currently we have a full green room right now, but we have to finalize it. So currently in there, we have Jacoby Walter, Alex Sarr, Ron Holland, Steph Castle, Zachary Reese-Shea, Nikola Topic, Cody Williams, Reed Shepard, Rob Dillingham, Dalton Connect, Donovan Clingan, Tristan Da Silva, Jared McCain, Devin Carter. Is anyone getting booted at the last minute?
One is staying, and I'm going to shock you. I think Ron's staying.
Yeah, that's fine.
We need a high motor guy in there. We got Devin Carter in there. We just need some guys that, when push comes to shove, we've quick acceleration out the club if we need an early exit, or they can just make things happen.
Ton of upside. If things go right, it's going to be a great night. It's going to be.
It's an incredible night if things go right. So they're both. Ron's in. I like Ron in still. I think Jacoby's out. Oh, actually, I take this back. 2 guys are out. I think Topic is out. We have a no injured in the club rule. We took Clingan out because he got injured.
Can't have him hobbling around.
Can't have him in. No, you can't have him in. So I think Topic is out. So this is why the green room is exciting because, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So Topic is gone. Topic isn't even in line. We can't have injured guys in line. He's got to go home and ice it. Yeah, bed rest for sure. Jacoby's out. He's gone. Jacoby can go in line.
Jacoby started.
So we have a line too. We need to just tell people that are new now. We have a line too. Correct. So who's in line?
Waiting. But Jacoby, first guy in, start to finish.
First guy in.
Last one out.
Well, then he's been there too long. He's cut off. He got cut off from the bar. We got to get him out.
He tried to turn brunch, all day mimosas, into day drinking, into a night party, and it was just too long. He wasn't ready for it. It just didn't work.
He had a heck of a run.
Heck of a run.
That might be an all-time run right there in the green room.
He got there.
Got
there at open, had an incredible brunch. The vibes were immaculate. Afternoon, it's still good. Sun's out, having a good time, but things started trending down, and you could feel it. It's like, oh boy, this could get messy if some things don't go right. And well, here we are. Okay, so we have 2 open spots. So in line,
who's in line?
Johnny Furphy, Bub Carrington, Tyler Kolek, Jalen Tyson, Dylan Jones, AJ Johnson, Modest Buzelis. I'm sending Johnny home.
Johnny's got to go home. By the way, we didn't do a green room for a while. That line is drunk. That line's unbelievable now.
It is.
But everyone's got to remember, this is not a big board line like Metcalf said. This is a vibes line. So we liked Furphy's vibes earlier. Now the vibes are not spectacular. So it is the last green room episode of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Usually how we do it is you've got to get in line to get in. But we've also had some people that just skips line because they're I think Devin Carter might have been a line skipper.
He was. Devin Carter was, black car pulls up, he walks out, goes straight in.
Okay, well, everyone buckle up. This one might get a little dicey because there's a lot of names we need to talk about. Okay, is Buzelis at least in line?
He can stay in line.
Buzelis is in line. Okay.
Do you want to add guys to the line, and then we'll go from there?
Yeah, I do want to, and then I want to get nasty with talking about who's getting in still.
Okay,
so
I'm going to add Baylor Shireman to the line.
I think Baylor Shireman needs to be in the line because he is a little, he's a wild card, but we sometimes need a wild card in a group. Everybody likes the wild card when you're having a good night. When it's a bad night, you don't like the wild card unless he can help you out. So Baylor wins both sides of the fence there. Okay, the final episode of the green room. I'm jacked up. We need to start with this because it just gets my heart rate pumping. Jamal Shed for the line.
Ooh, okay.
We need another dog. Or okay, is 2 dogs too many in the club?
It's
Devin Carter and Jamal Shed. Is that too much? Can bouncers not handle that?
He can be in line.
Okay, he'll be in line.
We're good with
he might be a good undercover bouncer for the line.
Couple
now
other
we're getting deep.
Couple other names for the line. In the line. Pacome Dadier, Enrique Freeman, Kaishan George. Yes, no.
I think Enrique's in the line. I think Pacome can be. He's probably end of the line. Kolek or no? Who was your last one?
Kaishan. Feel free to say no.
I'm gonna say no.
Perfect.
Okay.
We gotta get 2 in from this group. Are we missing anyone else that needs?
Oh wait, does Kaishan have the afro or the braids or the cornrows? Afro's a pretty strong pull.
No, but see, if you have to ask the question, then
okay, that's a good line. Okay, that's a good one. All right, we can't get Filipowski in, right? Because he's just too much of a wild card. Yeah,
no, he's having date night.
He might have been banned. He might have been banned from the green room. I mean, from the club. He can't get into the green room club. He might have been banned. Previous instances.
He was tripping people, Okay,
talk to me. Hit me with we've got 2 spots. Hit me with the
Tyler Kolek.
I need the line names again. I just need you to rattle them off.
Bub Carrington, Tyler Kolek, Jalen Tyson, Dylan Jones, AJ Johnson, Modest Buzelis, Baylor Shireman, Jamal Shed, Enrique Freeman, Pacome Dadier.
Okay, we're getting a little crazy there. Do we just go one by one and delete names and then we kind of simmer it down? I love Dylan Jones. I love Dylan. We got to get him out. I think he's out of the line.
All right.
Because I think we got to limit this. We got to go one by one. It's the last episode.
I'm going to cut Tyson.
I think Tyson's cut too.
Okay.
Great year. Thanks for coming. Yep. Try next weekend. I don't. Are we going to fight about AJ?
No.
I want you to fight about it a little bit. Okay. Well, give me the other names again.
Combine.
Kolek, Buzelis.
So Carrington, Kolek, Buzelis, Sharman, Shed, Freeman, Dadier. I'm going to cut Buzelis.
I don't know. That's a tough one.
Okay. We'll move on. Cut Shed?
Yeah, Shed. I liked the nominee, and now I'm like, hey, maybe next weekend. He found another bar. Last year, we kicked someone out, and we made the reference. They went down the street to like a better bar and had more fun, like a country bar or something. So maybe Shed just goes and finds. He's like, you know what? Fine. I don't even want the club. I want the dive bar.
He kind of walked past. He jumped in line for 2 seconds. It's like, what are we doing?
He's like, what are we doing? I got a spot around the corner. Yeah, 100%. I like this. Okay, that was good. Who's in? De Silva's in?
De Silva's in.
I'm trying to think if Buzelis just fits well with the crowd. Let's go on to the next name. Okay.
Does Bub get in?
I think Bub is. Every time you read the line, I was like, Bub's probably the leading candidate to get in. I mean, come on. He's got the photo with the white sunglasses. He's probably wearing those in. His name's Bub.
Lil Bub.
I think he's in.
I think he's in already. Lil Bub Carrington.
Great comment from one of the fans. We can't put Buzelis in because Richichet's in. That can't be a package deal. They haven't kissed and made up. So I don't know if we can do that.
Okay.
Unless you want to take Ricochet out for Buzelis, which I know this answer. Okay. All right. So we can't put Buzelis in. Great comment. Thundering G. We really appreciate that. It helped us.
Okay. One spot for Kolek, Sherman, Enrique, and Pacome.
I got a late nominee that's crashing. Can I just throw one more out?
Yep.
Zach Eady?
No.
Okay. I think Pacome's out. I love him. I think he's out. We're getting close. Kolek. Who else?
Kolek, Sherman, Freeman.
I think Freeman's out.
Okay.
This is a battle right now. These vibes are really high.
Kolek or Sherman?
Who are you thinking? I don't know. Who are you thinking?
I don't know if two guys could be having a better last couple weeks.
I think I'm going. I was going to say Shireman. Who's the guards? Who's the little guys we got in there? We've got Devin Carter. We've got Bub. Everyone. Bub's 6'5".
Shepard, Dillingham, McCain.
Yeah, we got a lot of cards in there. I'll go Shireman. I'll nominate Shireman. If you want to fight me for Kolek, I get it.
No, I'm good with Shireman. So, for the last time, before
does that feel right, or should it's Kolek feel better?
Let's read through it. So we have Baylor Shireman, Alex Sarr, just an absurd two names to read back to back together.
Yes, it is.
Baylor Shireman, Alex Sarr, Ron Holland, Steph Castle, Zachary Ricochet, Bub Carrington, Cody Williams, Reed Shepard, Rob Dillingham, Dalton Connect, Donovan Klingon, Tristan De Silva, Jared McCain, Devin Carter.
I think it's Kolek.
Over Shireman?
I don't know. You got to make the call. I like them both.
Are we sure Cody stays in?
That hurts.
I'm just asking questions.
I'm not sure. I'll ax it. Okay, Cody's out. Cody's out. Kolek's in. Or is this just we want to keep Shireman in, so we should just put Kolek? Just keep it. It's fine.
Sorry, Tyler. There are too many Tylers around here, anyways.
Yes, there you go. I think also Shed might have hit Kolek and was like, let's get out of here. And I think they're both hanging out down the street.
All right, cool. Final 2024. No Ceilings Green Room. Baylor Sharman, Alex Sarr, Ron Holland, Steph Castle, Zachary Reese-O'Shea, Bob Carrington, Cody Williams, Reed Shepard, Rob Dillingham, Dalton Connect, Donovan Klingon, Tristan De Silva, Jared McCain, Devin Carter. What a squad.
Never thought we were going to do a 2-hour pod. So everyone knows that we don't do this, but this was a special one. Everyone that came and taught and was in the chat and watching, I just want to say thanks for another fantastic year. The support's been awesome. The draft guide support has been incredible.
Yeah.
We're really touched by it, and the positive comments we've got from a lot of people is cool. So, it's pretty easy to do this when you guys support us so much. Helps with the long nights, helps with a lot of stuff. So thank you guys for the support. I wanted to make sure to say it because it's been a fun year. It's been a challenging but very, very fun year for a lot of us. And I know we're excited for next year already, but I'm probably excited to sleep in August. But and Metcalf, thank you as always for doing this. Another great year.
Just another incredible year. The amount of support you guys continue to give us, whether it's subscribing for free or giving up, spending your money to subscribe, buy the draft guide, rate, review, subscribe to YouTube, watch our stuff, listen to our stuff, read our, whatever it is, it just continues to grow and improve year over year, month over month. And it truly means the world to us. You guys are why we keep doing this. We love it. And you just kind of keep fueling that fire and make it so much fun. So this draft class has been a slog for a lot of people, but you guys have made it so much fun from start to finish. However you guys have supported us, it really means the world. If you have the means, please go check out the draft guide. We try to keep the vast majority of the stuff that we do for free because we know how much fun this is with all of you guys, and we're not trying to keep anyone out. So if you can't make it work, we get it. No worries. But if you can, it's $12. Link is over at noceilingsnba.bigcartel.com, noceilingsnba.com in the description of this, in the comments of this, over at noceilingsnba on Twitter. Wherever our stuff is, you can find a link to it. You guys rock for the last time for this draft cycle. For this podcast, but we'll be on the live stream next week. But he is Tyler Rucker. You can follow him at Tyler_Rucker. I'm Tyler Metcalf. You can follow me at TMetcalf11. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and 5-star rating. Till next time, see ya.